Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. My name is Isra and today we are going to continue our previous videos about how you can getting and giving a presentation for non-native of English speaker. Because we know that giving a presentation can be challenging and uncomfortable. And I'm there to say that because this is true, by the way, especially if you giving this presentation in English, which is not your first language, your second language. So of course it's challenging, out of comfort zone, and it's hard. And even more so when they are not in your native language, okay? Wherever your native language is. So yeah, I think this is gonna be useful for you. And also I create these slides for you to get started, and it takes from me a lot of time. So please forgive me for all of this time between each episodes, but I'm doing hard to create nice content for you, especially that I'm practicing with you my English. So yeah, let's start. So first of all, if you want to keep your audience engaged and interested in your presentation, it's important to catch their attention from the beginning. And we all know that. And no matter what the purpose of the presentation, because if you are keep saying and giving presentation and people like, just ending this presentation, we'll not have time. This is gonna be not the end result that we want. So a good start is a fundamental. It's the best not to start by introducing yourself. Being instead with something to capture the audience interest. So here I'm gonna say to you some story or how you can capture audience interest. Not to start the presentation by introduce yourself, my name is blah 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 and I'm working here and today I'm gonna giving you a presentation. No, we need something more compelling. So a quote that relates to this topic of the presentation, a very short but powerful story that connects with your presentation's goals. An interesting fact or statistics associated with the purpose of the presentation, this is gonna help you to giving the good one. I'm gonna explain what I just said. So being with something that catch the audience attention, you need to start with maybe a quote, maybe a short story, maybe interest fact, maybe relevant static, anything, maybe a thought-provoking question. All right, you need to get the audience attention at the first, which is again should be relevant to the topic, by the way, you are talking about. And these are all ways to hook your audience right from the start. And you can find more examples in the worksheet that I'm gonna leave it down below. And this is called the starting the presentation. Now that you have your audience attention, you can introduce yourself and the goal of your presentation. So by simply say your name and like I work for this company, and of course if you are presenting to an audience made up of people personally, this isn't necessary to say about your name and where you work because these people already know you. So instead of an introduction, you can greet your audience, maybe your coworker, your colleagues, okay, and they already know you. You don't have to introduce yourself. Maybe you have greet them with a good morning, everyone, good evening, after your introduction or greeting, explain in one or more 2 sentences the goal of your presentation. So first, I'm gonna recap again with you. First, we need to get something to catch the audience attention, which is you have these 4 bullet point. I think this is 5. Okay, these 5 bullet points here. You need to capture. Choose any one of these. Maybe you have something more creative. Come up with something creative. Okay, I'm just collect these ideas for you, and then this is for capture the attention for the audience. And then you start a little brief about yourself, introducing yourself. And if already the people know you, you don't have to introduce yourself, just say hi. And you need 1 or 2 sentences to explain the goal of your presentation. Ideally, connect this explanation to your opening. If you start with static, refer to it again, okay, when describing the goal of your presentation, or make a reference to the moral of your short story. Maybe offer an answer to your question. You have a question and people start answering you, and you can add also some answers, or mention that your presentation will attempt to answer this question that you start with. Maybe highlight the relevance of your opening quote to your presentation topic. So it's really important that these 5 bullet points here to be related to your presentation. Okay, don't come up with creative idea out of the topic. Of course not, because we are like exaggerating the first beginning of your presentation related to the topic. Next, give a very brief outline of your presentation. Tell your audience the main points that you will cover and the order in which you will talk about them. Okay, I'm gonna let me slide this down just to be able to see it. Yeah, this is where I said you summarize the goal of your presentation in 1 of 2 sentences if it's possible, and your outline its main point. So maybe you can use this as a guide for you, because we are not a non-native of English speaker, and maybe this presentation in English, so you need some sentence to help you. So maybe you say, today I'm going to talk to you with or about, today I'm going to cover this point, first of all, secondly, finally. This very good, by the way. This is awesome sentences that you can start your presentation with. And don't go into a lot of details, by the way. Save that for your main topic, your main presentation, and keep it short and clear. Okay, don't say a lot and lots. I mean, no. You need to keep it short and clear so you don't lose your audience attention. Some phrases you can use for this outline, like I'm going to talk about this today. As I mentioned, today we are going to look at this, or the points I am going to cover are. Once you have gone through the overview or outline of your presentation, you can transition to your first point with a phrase. And the transition is really important, by the way. I face this point so much, especially if you start doing a presentation online, you need a transition word. I'm gonna telling you again, we are non-native of English speaker, and sometimes people didn't notice that we are transition from point to point. So it's ideally, or it's important to memorize something like this sentence, okay? Because we are trying to improve our English and trying to transition and trying to talk in real English. So of course you need to memorize some of these points, like let's get started, let's begin, I would like to start by, without further ado, let's begin, and By the way, I heard about these sentences a lot. Every time I'm watching a YouTube video, I hear native speaker using this transition word. So this is important. This is not a PowerPoint and that's it. This is real English. Okay, so tell your audience the main point that you will cover and the order in which you will talk about it. Don't go into a lot of details. And some phrases going to cover are: once you have gone through all of these outline of your presentation, you can use this transition point. So let's get started and continue our video here. I'm using this. Yeah, I'm using transition word. So here are an example of how all of these work in practice. So I'm gonna give you an example here. Studies have shown that around 80% of people are nervous about public speaking, and that 10% of people are completely terrified by it. So, statistically speaking, if you need to give a presentation for work, it's highly likely that you are nervous about it. My name is Isra and I work for Speaks, and today I'm gonna give you the tools you need to feel confident about giving a presentation in English. What do you think? I think I awesome. I already write this, by the way. I'm reading this little points here just to give you an overview how you can give a presentation. It's like an exercise, small task, how to use this information. Okay. Now this is the part 2. I'm going to talk to you about the preparation. Okay. And please appreciate the visuals and try to use this useful language. Okay. Now, any other tips to make your presentation more effective? So let's get started. Hopefully I caught your attention with the statistics right at the first when I said that people are nervous when giving a presentation, and I moved on the briefly introduce myself, then I linked the goal of the presentation to the statistics, and I quickly outlined the presentation. And I used these phrases to transition between point to point and to start off the main part of my talk. So I think this is gonna be right and easy for you to start giving a presentation. So thank you so much for listening today episode, and I hope to see you next time. And next time I'm gonna give you more and more information about giving presentation for non-native of English speaker. So keep your eye on my YouTube. Thank you.